I'ma keep it a bean. Stick to the script, every scene. This from last year, but they clean. Say to say, I'ma take something else, but it's winning team. Charlie Sheen, fam gang, the regime. I'm from Piney Green.
What's good, Shellitronnn here. You can call me Shells, and I'm back at it again with a brand new video, and I'm gonna keep it a Bowberry biscuit. The unthinkable has happened. The unthinkable has happened. By now, we all understand, we all know what the coronavirus is. Coronavirus is a sickness, a virus, obviously, that is believed to have started around China when people started to eat exotic foods, exotic animals, specifically talking about dogs, cats, but more specifically, bats and other even more exotic. When I say exotic, exotic really means animals you don't want to be eating. Now look, we eat animals around here, but there are just some animals that you probably just do not want to be eating. And I think a bat falls squarely in the at least the conversation, if not the category of animals you probably don't want to be putting in a soup. Then people were getting sick, people traveled to China, left China, it spread to Italy, other parts of Europe. We found out Tom Hanks and his wife got coronavirus there in Australia, but it didn't really hit a lot of people until just last night. Yeah, there are a few cases here and there, maybe over 100 or so cases in the United States. We saw that some schools are already transitioning to going away from having their actual classes in person and going to online only classes, specifically in California and New York. This is more of an overview, a broad view of what's been happening with coronavirus and how it's been spreading around the world. But it wasn't really until last night. Last night, during the NBA games, there was a game that was going on between the Jazz and the Thunder. And when I say there was a game going on, I mean there was a game about to go on. And then it came out, right before tip out, the doctor for the Thunder came out and said, look, someone tested positive for something. Someone tested positive, so we can't have this game going on anymore. And it turned out that Rudy Gobert actually tested positive for the coronavirus, so they canceled that game right then and there. Said, look, Rudy, you did something. And there's a video of Rudy Gobert going around joking about the coronavirus during a presser and touching everyone's phones. Just the day before, I believe it was, or it was very, very recently before that. And then even bigger news came down that the NBA wasn't just going to be suspending that game. They're going to suspend their whole NBA season until further notice. So at least 2 weeks, at least 14 days. But until further notice, until things get better, until someone can find something to do with this coronavirus that can at least slow the spread of it, they're going to be stopping all operations for the NBA as far as games are concerned. Now, it doesn't mean that the whole season is canceled. They may start the season up again in maybe a month or so. It's not going to be 82 games. I'm not sure that means for the playoffs, the draft. Money-wise, if the playoffs do get canceled, that is a ton of money for these teams. Obviously, tickets, concessions, all this stuff, the league, all that stuff is a big, big deal because obviously money comes in and that's factored into what the budget's going to be. But what does this have to do with what this channel is mainly about, which is the Panthers and the NFL? This coronavirus and the quick spread of it and how it's affecting the U.S. right now and how you've seen South by Southwest has been canceled. We're seeing, Coachella either got canceled or moved back. All these things are getting canceled. Even businesses are moving their meetings from being, in-house, person-to-person, face-to-face meetings to being conference calls. People do not want to be face-to-face in large-scale events, enclosed in arenas, enclosed in buildings with a bunch of other people who you don't really know just how often they be washing their hands. So this affects the NFL in a lot of very specific ways. As we know, the free agency period for the NFL starts on the 18th. That is in 6 days. Now, when free agency comes about, it's not just about, okay, we want that guy, let's sign that guy. All right, you're on the team right now. Sometimes teams bring guys in and do workouts. Now, are you going to have your whole medical staff there, your whole coaching staff there, the player, his reps, maybe even his entourage, other people coming in, and it's not just him on one day. There's other guys you're bringing in. So at any point, there's over 100 people there just to talk about free agency, workouts, looking at these guys and whatnot. The staff for this kind of stuff is obviously really big. So you have to think about, okay, hold up. Are we really going to bring in all these people in a closed environment just for free agency, just to talk about these football players, when someone can get sick, not just a member of the team, but one of the players, do you really want to risk getting sick or maybe even you getting someone else sick? Because look, you do not know how often people be washing their hands like that. You see plenty of people throughout your daily life. I know I do. People who go to the bathroom and do not wash their hands. See it every day. All right, it's real dangerous out here right now. So it came as no surprise to me when I saw these tweets right here. The first from Adam Schefter saying multiple NFL teams are discussing shutting down their training facilities due to coronavirus, league sources tell ESPN. And then from Ian Rappaport, he says the NFL has told all staff except for operationally critical staff to work from home until further notice beginning tomorrow, out of an abundance of caution and with the health and safety of our communities as our foremost priority. Obviously, these are steps that needed to be taken because, look, let's be real. As we saw from Rudy Gobert, people did not take the coronavirus seriously. People were joking about the coronavirus until it hit them. I wouldn't say it's a pandemic just yet, but it's been growing very rapidly. People aren't getting tested, and there are also just a lack of reliable, quick tests. I think the first tests that were out took 2 to 3 days to get results. Now there are tests that are out that take 10 hours to get results. That still is a pretty long time, and you could be infected without actually seeing any of the symptoms. By the time you have the symptoms, you've had it for about a week or so. So it's really hard to know whether or not you have those symptoms or you have coronavirus. So it is just best for these guys to say, look, we don't know who has it, and there really is no good way to find out who has it in an orderly and very fast manner. So it's probably best for us to err on the side of caution and just say, look, if you ain't got to be here, just go home. Stay at home. If at the very least, don't get me sick. I got to be here. So if you don't got to be here, go ahead and hit the bricks. We don't need you in the building getting other people sick potentially. Now, we've already seen some response from the NFL even further. I think this is already a done deal, but the NFL is taking a hard look at adjustments to the Las Vegas draft coming up next month. Maybe I think it's in 6 weeks, 7 weeks. And they're talking about maybe having no fans at the draft. You're going to have a lot of events, a lot of sporting events, if they even happen with empty stands, happen with no fans in attendance. Things that really should be big, huge events, huge money-making events for the league are going to be real bare bones. The production, all that stuff in the background, all the behind-the-scenes stuff isn't going to work the same way you've seen it work in the past. And this is all really small news. Like, this is not very important in the wide scope of people not getting a deadly disease or a deadly virus. There's a difference. But it really does kind of change the mood, change the specter of the NFL season. And like I mentioned about how, playoff tickets, concessions, the TV deals and whatnot for the NBA being maybe messed up. If you don't have this money coming into the NFL early into the season, it definitely does affect how the money works and how the budget works for the next upcoming year. So maybe it could possibly affect the cap space, because that is all encapsulated in the budget and whatnot. And it also affects the draft. More specifically, I think the biggest example is people can't bring in a guy like Tua Tagovailoa, one of the most exciting, one of the biggest names in the draft this year. He's had some really big injuries in his ankle, his hip, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, all that. But if you can't bring this man in for a workout, you might have to draft him sight unseen. Now, we've heard all the reports about, oh yeah, it looks good. He went into a meeting with his doctor. Everything checks out. He's on pace, whatever that means. One of these teams, meaning probably the Chargers or the Dolphins, might have to draft this man Tua without him actually coming into the facility and doing workouts, without getting a chance to do a physical on him. But it's not just about the draft. Let's talk about what it means specifically for the Panthers. And I might do a whole video on this as well. But what does this mean for Cam's March workout? As we've been hearing for the past several months now, Cam's got to do a workout with the team to really get a good grasp on what his health is looking like for the Panthers moving forward before the franchise makes a decision on what they're going to do with Cam, because obviously everyone wants Cam to stay with the Panthers. But if the man, first of all, can't get protection, that's going to be an issue. But if he can't even play on the field, if he's not healthy, You have to make moves before the draft. You have to make moves going into free agency. You have to find out exactly where Cam is in his rehab. You have to find out where he is with his shoulder, where he is with that foot. But all that stuff is extremely small, really just irrelevant in the scope of people's health. This is a life and death situation here. Not a ton of people are dying, but it's a whole lot more than people actually thought. And this is only spreading and getting bigger in the United States. People just don't be caring, bro. People just don't take it seriously until it's almost too late, until you hear, wait, these are the numbers? These guys who've been in contact with a bunch of people, and you don't even know if you have coronavirus until you see the symptoms. But by that point, you've had it for a week. So think about all the times you've talked to people, touched people, coughed into your hand, and then touched other surfaces where people might have been. You might have been in Walmart, picked up a box of cereal. I don't like this one. Put it back on. Pick up another one. This one's kind of bent. Put it back down there and then walk off. Think about the number of people who pass or touch that box, have it at home. They're touching it. Their family's touching it. And then their family is touching other people, touching other surfaces. The thing can spread quickly. It's likely we're only scratching the surface right now of what kind of effects the coronavirus will have on not just sports, but society as a whole as we move forward. So it's a very huge deal. All I can say is, man, be careful. Wash your hands. Don't be touching stuff. Cough into your elbow, maybe into your shirt. People don't talk about this enough. Cough into your shirt like, don't be like Rudy Gobert making jokes about it and touching people's phones and stuff. That ain't cool, bro. Anyone can have it. You might have it. Matter of fact, hit the like button so I don't get it. Alright? That's all I got for you for right now, man. What are your thoughts on the NBA, coronavirus, NFL, Cam's workout, all of that? Because it is a huge deal to me. Maybe you're taking it seriously. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. Maybe this is just the media's making it bigger so people will take it safer. People just take it more seriously. You make something sound bigger than it is so people take it seriously so it doesn't actually get to that point of being as big as you're saying it is. Maybe, could be the case, but I think it's, better safe than sorry in that kind of scenario. So I don't know. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And you already know what to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Being told y'all I been the man. Being told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.